what it means to be an American. America is freedom, and freedom is special and rare.
We, the people of this great nation.
The only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
We, the people of this great nation.
Good morning, my fellow patriots. Today is a unique day. Today is a day that, it's a sad day in America. I mean, yesterday was the sad day in America, but we're still feeling the effects, at least for people all over the country that heard the news about a legend that passed away, someone who has been an inspiration to a lot of young conservatives. I think he built a lot of the conservatives that we have today through his overwhelming charisma and passion for what he does. Rush Limbaugh did pass away yesterday from lung cancer, stage 4 lung cancer at 70. I remember the most I can remember. The reason I knew so much about Rush Limbaugh was because I grew up listening to him, and my stepdad was the one that actually would listen to him. And my stepdad is a Democrat, believe it or not. And I remember growing up in that unique voice. I never knew who he was. I was 7, 8 years old. I didn't know who he was, but I remembered that voice. And then as I got older, I remember hearing him and I go, oh my God, that's who I used to hear all the time. Didn't really know what he was talking about at the time. But as I grew older and I would listen to the things he would say, he motivated me to be a better Republican, to believe in the conservative values that I believe in, to believe in the Constitution. Contrary to what the left is saying right now, because CNN apparently did not have any hesitation to attack the man. The man is, he is definitely one of the greatest of all time. He is a legend. He completely changed the entire way radio works. The audience that he had was a unique audience of people that were 20, 30 years loyal to him. The man was truly a patriot for this country. He fought the good fight. He fought all the way to the end. I mean, I was hearing him till maybe a month back until it finally, I guess, it hit him to the point where he couldn't recover. That being said, I kind of want to pay tribute to him because I feel like he deserves it. Although the left, I mean, I literally was debating today with somebody from the left, and they were actually happy that he passed away, which is sad because I would never be happy for anyone passing away. Nevertheless, someone who inspired so many young minds, such as myself. And it's a sad day. You know, it's a sad day. We lost a good one, but I want you guys to listen to one of his last public speeches. This is one of his last public speeches, and I just want to show him this respect because I think I'm a podcaster today, and I'm streaming and I'm doing everything I'm doing because of people like Rush. He was definitely an inspiration to me, and he's one of the reasons I'm such a hardcore conservative and I love this country so much. Before Trump and now. So here it is. Without further ado, here we go. Let's listen to Rush's.
Defend the president. I said, what? It's getting so hard to defend the president. I said, what? Hard to defend the president is one of the easiest things in the world to do. President Trump does not need to be defended. The people that need to be defending themselves are the people attacking him and the people attacking us. He doesn't need to be defended. How do you defend Donald Trump? You attack the people who are attempting to destroy him. They're trying to destroy you. They're trying to transform this country into something that it was not founded to be. That's how you do it. I find that it's so incredible that people think, oh my gosh, it's hard. It's so hard. It is not hard to, folks, we're not in a standard political environment where the Democrats win and then the Republicans win. We share power, we trade power. We are in a war. We are in a war for the kind of country America is going to be. There's always going to be an America, but the war being waged now.
So that's a little part of it. There's more to come now.
Going to be in America, but the war being waged now is aimed at overthrowing the principles of our founding. That is what the left is attempting to do. And look at how. They say that the president needs to be defended. People need to be defending themselves are those who have run this absolutely bogus coup, claiming Russia meddling between the president and Russia during the campaign. They are the ones who have engaged in meddling. It was Hillary Clinton who engaged in meddling with the Russians in the dossier. The president doesn't need to be defended. The president needs to be supported. It's easy to do. He's Make America Great. Why? Why is Make America Great so controversial? Stop and think a minute. Who could oppose it? Somebody comes along and says, I want to make America great again. Why is that controversial? Why in the world is that controversial? And then somebody comes along and says, I think we ought to be America first again. Why is that controversial? Why do people oppose America first? Why do people oppose making America great again? I'll tell you why. The people who think make America great again is not good think that it is a throwback to 200 years ago America. They think that it is code for taking America back to the days when it was manifestly unfair, racist, sexist, bigot, homophobe. It is not that. Make America great again is let's get back and restore the principles of the founding. America First is based on the solution and the submission that America is the solution to the world's problems. It is not the problem. The left in America, the left around the world thinks America is the problem, and we're not. When America leads, when America triumphs, when America prospers, the world does greater than ever. We really have one shot at this. And the shot that we have at preserving this country as founded is Donald Trump, President of the United States. That's it. It is an honor to know him. It is a privilege to be here tonight and to introduce him to you. Make him know how much you love him. The President of the United States, Donald Trump.
This is why Rush Limbaugh was great. He was able to rally up a group of people, Americans, and he made people feel proud of being American. And this is going to be a huge loss for our country, as big as possibly, not as big, but a big loss, like we lost Donald Trump in this rigged election. He's one of the few good ones that we had left that cared about America. He supported Trump from day one. He was, unlike any host, I mean, there's great hosts out there, Glenn Beck. There's a bunch of them that are amazing. Him, for one, I have the utmost respect for him. Again, like I said, he was a true inspiration. And I'm proud to say that I tuned into him all the time, and I'm here today to show my respects to him, and I think that we should all pray that he's in a better place and he's not suffering, and we can move on now. So, okay. So what's going on in the news? Apparently, winter has arrived. Winter's not coming. It is here. And Texas is feeling the wrath. I'm sorry for everyone over there in Texas. But apparently AOC, as clever as she is, she's saying the reasoning behind all of this, the reasoning behind everything that's happening in Texas is because of green energy. We're not doing the Green New Deal. Reality check, dummy. A lot of the electricity and reasons that they don't have electricity right now, and there's blackouts and power outages, is because we were using green energy. The turbines that produce energy, for example, yeah, they're frozen. They're not spinning anymore. So they're not producing energy. Again, this has also not happened in Texas in about 30 years. Then we got celebrities, of course, the hypocritical celebrities such as Bette Midler, who's I don't know, an actress that was all I remember her from is Hocus Pocus playing a clown witch or something, which is a perfect description of what she is. And I simply recall her reading an article of her basically attacking the people of Texas, saying they deserve what they got. Forget about the 20 deaths that have occurred. That doesn't matter. So this is what the world we're living in. People are happy when bad things happen to other people. It's sad, but it is what it is. We must stay united. We must stay tough. We must stay vigilant. And we must all be united. At least the right should. On a more positive note, Andrew Cuomo's under investigation with the FBI. Hopefully something comes out of it. Hopefully they are not biased. And they go ahead, and if he has committed a crime, he gets indicted. I think that everyone don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back.
Do you feel homeless in today's American political world? Not really into either candidate or party? Well, guess what? You're not alone. Join me and others just like you across this great country for a discussion of politics from a viewpoint that you can't find in today's media. The Middle. I'm your host, Brian Grozier, and I invite you to join in on the discussion by downloading and listening to the Middle American Podcast.
Everyone should be held accountable for their actions. I'm shocked. I'm losing so much faith. I mean, I'm reading an article right now on Breitbart. I'm completely shocked at what celebrities are saying. Hellboy star Ron Perlman expresses sympathy for the devil because Rush Limbaugh will spend eternity with him. You know, these people are a bunch of pieces of shits. And the more that I see these people, I regret so much more supporting their films and supporting everything they stood for. Okay, I used to be a fan of his because I watched the Hellboy movies. They weren't very good, by the way. He's horrible. They're horrible. It was a horrible series of movies, but he was part of the motorcycle TV show Hell's Angels. No, it's not Hell's Angels. I can't remember the name right now. It's irrelevant. But yeah, Ron Perlman. Yeah, I'll no longer support any film. And this is how one of my listeners was telling me, how do we fight these people back? This is how we fight them back. We don't show up to watch their movies. When they say evil things like this, you have to assume they think of all of us the same way. So therefore, we don't give them the support that they deserve. We just don't. We don't go to their movies. We don't watch their movies. And they'll know 74 million people voted for Donald Trump. That's a lot of people. That's enough to really hurt Facebook enormously, hurt big tech enormously, but we must stand united and we must stand together. And it's a hard thing to do. It's a hard thing to do to organize something of this capacity. So, I mean, I've been getting emails from so many people, telling me, oh, you should let your listeners know to get supplies, to get things, these outages that are happening all over the country. This is the beginning. This is more of the QAnon conspiracies. I would, if I was you, I'm doing it right now. If I was you, I would just buy it just in case something does happen. Now, Dr. Q's not going to be on the show today. Sorry to break the news to you guys. Q will not be on. He's taking care of something, so I'm going solo Manolo on this one. But That being said, I would definitely stock yourself up with a supply of 30 days. I mean, it's not expensive. I've had it for a long time. I've just had it because of hurricanes and where I live. But I mean, it doesn't cost much. I mean, if you have a little extra money, times are hard right now. Times are tough because of all these COVID restrictions and clowns that we have running the government. But if you have it, if you do have some extra money, should definitely invest in buying at least a 30-day supply of food. And they're a little expensive, but considering how much this applies, it's worth having. It's worth having. So that being said, I did get another email from another listener. This is D-Man. D-Man, what's up, buddy? Jase, hope I'm not overstepping here, but I had an awfully wonderful idea. First, I love the wrecking ball sticker you have designed. I have been kicking around the idea of something with the same message, but you nailed it way better. What if it was branded craze? What if someone like myself or anyone really planted the idea seed revolving using that sticker for friendly tagging? Let's say a sticker challenge that makes patriots try to one-up each other by stickering points of interest with humor. Example, sticking them on anything affected by executive orders. Pipelines, gas pumps, ATMs, broken walls, dents in cars, etc. could go on for days. What's in it for everyone? Question mark. You? Sales need trademarks. Suggest some way of sending them to link with it. Patriots serving good while having fun. Humanity, mega movement nationwide, hopefully. Me, knowing I did my best to fend freedom for my fellow man and children. Again, thank you for your time. I'm a very firm believer that good prevails over evil is a mindset. I agree with you. I think we should start this forward movement. If you want to start it, let's do it. Let's get it started. I love it. I love it. We got to put a stop to
I came in like a wrecking ball.
Joe, because, I mean, we all know this guy is a problem. We all know the left is a problem. I will give you a story today. So today I was streaming live and I had a transgender. I'm trying to understand this whole obsession that the left has with transgenders. Okay, I understand that they are a minority. I understand that they identify as female. I think most people understand their motives behind everything, right? So my thought on this is never going to change. Biologically, if you were born a man, you are a man. If you were born a woman, you are a woman. Now, that being said, if you identify as something else, I don't care. As long as it doesn't affect my civil liberties, I do not care. But that being said, I was a little sympathetic to the person that I was talking to. This person I was talking to happened to have been a porn star. Okay. Does porn for a living. Identifies as a female. But has a penis. So don't know how that works out very well. But apparently it's a whole process with the whole face, everything. Like, it's a giant process. And I want people to understand, because I asked her several different questions. I first approached her with the question of, my first question that I wanted to hit her up with was, what did she feel about transgenders in sports? And to my surprise, she agreed with me and disagreed at the same time. She says that, you know, depending on when they started taking the hormones and the estrogen or whatnot, would determine whether or not they should be able to play sports with females. Now, my direct answer to that is very simple. My direct answer to that is, yeah, no, they shouldn't. The reason that we created women's sports to begin with, the reason that women's sports evolved was because we knew that it would be very difficult for women to compete at the level of men. I'm not trying to take anything away from women. Genetically, men are just much more enhanced than a woman would. That being said, I'm pretty sure if I get into a fight with Ronda Rousey, she'll beat the shit out of me. Okay? So that doesn't, I mean, she's a skilled fighter and all that. So that being said, I just completely disagree with them being in sports, because you're taking away the freedoms of those women that fought so hard to get their own sports, to be able to play their own sports, and you're giving them a huge disadvantage. It's just wrong in every single way. Another subject that I brought up was the bathrooms. I don't care if you make a bathroom for transgenders. I don't agree with the fact that they're going to be in the same bathroom as my young daughter, or vice versa. I don't know who these people are. I know they're not, they're by my standards, by my morals, they are not a female. They are male. They're a male that identifies as a female. That's fine. But now you're affecting my life, and now it becomes a problem. See how that works? It's very simple. If it starts affecting other people's lives, then it does become a problem. Now, that being said, I will never treat them any different because of what they identify. If they want me to call them a she, I will call them a she. I don't care. I don't really care. I have no issues with that. But I could see the pain in her eyes, right? And the insecurity in her eyes when a couple of the people that were on the panel, they started debating, and it was quick. They went on the defense. She went on the defense, and she began to fight back, and she began to use verbal abuse towards my other people on the panel. But I can see the reasoning behind it, because I think that they put up with so much, and they want us to accept it, and they want us to accept them as females so much that they feel this pressure, this enormous amount of pressure on top of them, and they cannot force people to accept them. Now, me personally, I'm a little more open-minded. I don't really care, like I said. I don't think most Americans care at all, to be honest with you. We just don't want it to be affecting our personal lives. And I don't think most Americans would treat them any different. At least I won't. But but I wanted to dig deeper. So I asked a lot of questions about their mental state, and it started breaking my heart a little bit as she was explaining how she wishes that her brain can just be transported into a woman's body, so that way solution and problem is solved. But it's not that easy. And she was explaining the whole process, how, it takes, you go through psych evals before they even start giving you the shots. I mean, it's an entire process. I didn't know it was that much of a complicated process. They don't just let you take those estrogen shots. I mean, you really have to go through an intense, and they have to make sure that it's not just somebody who's crazy that just decided wants to be a woman. No, I mean, it's a process. So at least in that aspect, I felt a little bit more, I guess, more, I felt a sense of relief in a way, because I felt at least that this wasn't a giant sham, that these people at least are being vetted and checked, and they're not making a mistake. We brought up the conversation about kids. She says that she always felt at a young age, at 5, I don't know how, at 5 she felt that she was not into she didn't believe she was a male, that she identified as a female. And that I think that should not be, we should let any child fully develop and wait till they become adults. And once they become adults, I believe that they should be able to choose whatever they want to choose at that point. But I do not feel like any parent should be putting their kids through that process until we're 100% certain. Because when a kid hits puberty, just as I did, just as most of my listeners, all of my listeners did, unless you're underage and you still haven't hit puberty, most of us already know that there's a lot of things that change in our bodies and the way we think. So I disagreed completely with her on that aspect. So I just thought I'd bring that up because it seems to be such a popular topic amongst the left. They seem to care so much about transgender rights. And then she had this whole giant argument with me saying Trump hates transgenders, banned them from the military. No, that's incorrect. That's invalid. Do not make up lies. He never banned transgenders from serving in the military. What he did is ban us funding the process of them changing themselves from male to female or vice versa. Taxpayer dollars should not go into that. And if you are serving the military, and there's studies about this, the majority of people, when they're transitioning, do suffer from a lot of depression, and that puts our fellow troops in harm's way. Of course, we all know Joe Biden reversed that. So again, he's doing great for our country. He's continuously doing amazing things to continue to make this country great. Another interesting thing that I was reading up upon, which I found to be extremely scary and should scare the shit out of a lot of Americans. Right now, as of today, Bill Gates, the man who said we should be eating synthetic food, owns more land than anyone in the United States. More farmland than anyone in the United States. Why? That's a good question. Why does he own more farmland than anyone in the United States of America? What is this guy planning? What is this guy doing? I know that QAnon has been talking about him, but I'm starting to think that there's something behind Bill Gates. I mean, it's starting to get a little fishy. It's starting to get a little fishy with his with his comments and the fact and his actions. I mean, it's starting to become a little bit scary, to be perfectly honest with you. Oh my God, this is crazy. So apparently now, KFC, that going to the same subject, this is how the world is changing, guys. We are going to be dying at young ages. I mean, I'm telling you, that they are fucking around too much with science. They're doing too many things, and we're not that advanced. KFC to 3D bioprint meat using animal flesh cells. Yeah, I'm no longer eating at KFC either. What a fucking shame. Because their fucking chicken is amazing. But again, like I said, look, this country right now is bonkers. I mean, everything that's going on right now in this country is beyond my understanding. The left's rhetoric doesn't stop. Apparently now the NAACP is suing Donald Trump for inciting the violence on the Capitol. Don't know what that's all about, but apparently they just don't want to let it go. We have so much. We have so much going on in this country right now. And we have things that people are not even paying attention to. There was a mass shooting outside a subway station. There's just time and time again, there's so many. I mean, there's so much bad things happening in this country right now, and it feels like we're just letting them slide by. Wow. Rush Limbaugh's house, he left a $50 million Florida house for his wife. This man worked, I mean, everything he got, he deserved. I mean, he worked hard for whatever he got. Apparently Biden and his press secretary are having apparently differences in what their plans are here. Apparently Biden says school reopening plan goal is at 10% by end of the year. That is fucking ridiculous, people. This is ridiculous. This is going to affect the youth so much. The fact that suicide rates are above the national level. We have alcohol abuse, drug abuse at levels that we've never seen in this country. This virus is going to be worse. The cure to this virus is going to be worse than the virus itself. I mean, this is just ridiculous. I mean, so again, this whole impeachment sham, so the Capitol rioter The whole Capitol rioter. Apparently, new court records are showing that he sold footage of the siege to NBC and CNN for thousands of dollars. Could it be maybe CNN bought that footage and then handed it over to the impeachment team? That's a possibility, right? That's a good possibility, right? I mean, look, there's so many things right now that QAnon is starting to feel like something normal. And that's not a good thing. But, I mean, they're coming after our guns. They're coming after every single thing you can think of. And this is just, this is the beginning of the end, people. If we don't do something about this, this is the beginning of the end. I mean, without a doubt, I don't see an option out of this. I mean, it's starting to feel like they're accomplishing their plan. I mean, it's something. It's crazy. It's crazy, but I mean, think about it. Look at how far these people have gone. They robbed an election right in front of our eyes. Okay, so we all witnessed that. We were helpless. We couldn't do anything about it. We just let it happen, and that's about it. I mean, again, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know how to. I wouldn't know how to describe this in any other way. We're seeing Joe Biden signing executive orders as if he's writing a check every single day, which, again, crazy as hell. Never seen anybody do this. We now know that all the celebrities are staying quiet. They're crickets. They're not defending Andrew Cuomo anymore, or presenting him with awards, Emmy awards, and all that stuff. I wonder if they're going to retract his Emmy award the same way that they took away Donald Trump's SAG card, or to remove them from the Screen Actors Guild, or I forgot what guild it was. It doesn't really matter because Trump doesn't really give a fuck. But nevertheless, I mean, again, this is just ridiculous. This is the man that we have elected as president of the United States. And listen to this. Listen to the stupidity that comes out of this man's mouth. Just listen to this.
Shooting last summer. Any welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. Defund the police is discussed as an option for reforming policing. However, there are communities where people live in fear, not of the police, but in fear of the violent gangs who commit crimes in those neighborhoods. How can we be sure that we don't over-legislate police officers so that they can't do their job to protect the law-abiding citizens who live in these high-crime neighborhoods, and yet train officers to police with compassion?
By number one, not defunding the police. We have to put more money in police work. So we have legitimate community policing, and we're in a situation where we change the legislation. No one should go to jail for a drug offense. No one should go to jail for the use of a drug. They should go to drug rehabilitation. Drug rehabilitation, number one. We should be in a position where we change the system of sentencing system to one that relates to a notion of, they should tell you that, is related to making sure that what you do is you focus on making sure that there's rehabilitation. The idea that we don't have people in.
Okay, come on, Joe. Come on.
Come on, man.
We all know that was a premeditated question. You knew the answer to it already. They were probably reading it to you in the headset, saying what you should say. We all know you created the crime bill. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. And let's not forget, you were all for defunding the police. But apparently now you're seeing that defunding the police doesn't work. Example, Minneapolis, right? Where now they gave $6.4 million to try to get more police officers because they realized defunding the police doesn't work. Damn, Joe. But he'll say whatever he has to say to please people. And he's full of shit. I mean, this man is full of shit. He's not going to do anything. Mark my words, he will not accomplish a damn thing as president of the United States. He will not. He will pass all these executive orders. All he's doing is creating the Obama era all over again, which is exactly why we voted for Donald J. Trump. And we will take over the House in 2022. I got a hot take for you. This is a prediction. This is I'm iffy right now whether Trump will run for president again or not. And the reason I say this is I think that it's all going to fall down to 2022, right? That it's all going to be on 2022. How many people can Trump actually get into the House and Senate that support his America First agenda, which we all have to fight together to try to we all got to fight together to make this happen. Like, we all got to go out there, we all got to fight and make sure that our candidates get in there. But that being said, I think that once he sees who's in the House and who's in the Senate, I think at that point he will determine whether or not he will run for president again. And because I know a lot of people are thinking he may run. He may not run. He may get somebody. He may get somebody that's actually a person that's like him, not exactly like him, but maybe like him, and he may go ahead and promote him and make sure he gets the presidency. Somebody who has the same America First agenda. Okay, and again, that's really all I can foresee right now. So, of course, I got a message from somebody. This is a Q supporter. This was the simplest email I've ever received in my life. It's "Welcome to Pandemic 2, the power grid." So, they didn't really elaborate anymore on this. So I'm looking through. Florida does it best. Restaurants. Florida is like the best state ever. Somebody also emailed me a meme that says "face diapers not required. Everyone welcome." In a Florida restaurant. I mean, listen. The reality is that we are in a place in our country that one group is fighting the other, states are fighting amongst each other, threats are being made from one another, and it's scary times, and I understand a lot of people are scared right now. Hell, I'm scared. I mean, and I'm with you. I mean, I don't know what the future of this country is. I don't know what's gonna happen. I see more division with Joe Biden than I do see with Donald Trump. I think more people were just bashing on Trump and they were just picking on Trump himself and he could take it. Whereas with Joe Biden, I feel like the bullying is now happening to everybody that's on the right, like individuals. So it's a tough time in America right now. I think that we will overcome this, and I think we will get through this together. And I hope and I pray that the truth will come out, and the truth always sets us free. And I strongly believe that it will come out. I think that there is good people out there. So I think that good always prevails over evil, even though some of us think that some of us may not think it's so. I do believe that the truth shall come out, and good will prevail over evil. I strongly believe that. So just stay the course. This is so somebody had mentioned to me that they had solid proof. This was sent to me by somebody, and they said that this proves without a doubt that Donald Trump won the election. I'd like for you guys to tune in on this one. It's a 10-minute audio, but I think it's something that could possibly maybe give you a different outcome, a different sense of how we got cheated. I thought it was interesting, so therefore I'm going to share it with you guys.
Welcome to Business Game Changers. I'm Sarah Westall. Question: what happens when you cheat on an election in an obscenely obvious way in front of the entire world? Well, the answer is you get an army of software engineers that know how to analyze the data, write code to break it down, and compare every transaction, and then show the entire world what has really happened. The world is filled with bright software engineers who can break down and analyze transactions very easily. It's not rocket science, especially for them, and it can be proven. It just takes time and some initiative. Fortunately, this work is occurring right now, and the first batches of analysis is coming out. Authorities, President Trump's attorneys, need to take notice, as this is 100% provable given we have the transactional data. Teams of others could easily verify results, and it can be taken to court to prove the case of fraud. And more importantly, who actually won the election. Further, with transactional data, which we have, analysis can prove every race in the country and see if there was a much larger red wave, as many of us suspect, thus changing many more congressional seats and seats in the Senate. It wouldn't be a close Senate. I am very certain of that if we look at and audit this entire race across the entire country. I recently posted analysis from Truman Black, which was initially posted on the Donald.win website. And there's a group of mathematicians and computer scientists, computer engineers working on this, and they have put out their initial analysis. And what you will see is that massive amounts of votes were changed from President Trump to Biden, as everyone has been suspecting. But further, other votes were removed altogether without reason. As with any analysis, it's important to check the work to ensure it has been completed properly without errors. There is more to do, but fortunately, people all over the world are working on this. And I have one report from an independent news site called No Q Report, and this is what they say. We are going through the data now, but everything we have combed through so far seems to check out. For example, in Georgia, there appears to have been 17,407 votes switched. Biden is currently leading in Georgia by 14,148 votes. So that means that Trump would win based on this. Pennsylvania is even worse, with over 1 million votes either switched or lost. So what do votes lost mean? That means that they just dropped out. So I think they lost a lot of votes because they had to make up for the fact that there were so many more votes cast for Biden that there was too many votes total. You know, they needed to make it look like the percentage of people that came out for the election wasn't over 100%. So they had to lose votes. Further, this is what No Q Report says. Combine this data with what we're learning about other forms of voter fraud, and it's easy to see how a man who couldn't fill a small auditorium with supporters was supposedly able to generate more votes than any American candidate in history. The truth is, he didn't. Millions of votes were manufactured on his behalf. He or someone else on his behalf used the hammer and scorecard to steal this election. I reached out to Truman Black and asked him why he and his team are doing this work, and he replied, "We love the United States of America, and we cannot sit around doing nothing while we watch the most blatant attempt from a corrupt establishment steal this election and the soul of America for their own selfish motives." So obviously this work is one of the most critical pieces of information to prove fraud 100%, and it would ultimately change the outcome of the election. So I am going to go over their post a little bit here, and I'm hoping that you will share this video far and wide. You can also share my article.
Now, I just want people to understand this video is old, but now it's resurfacing. Okay, because now this is what everybody's saying, that hopefully these people have been continuing to work on this. Even after the inauguration, they're still working on this. And apparently it's something big. Now, I don't know if it's going anywhere. I'm giving you guys news that you probably won't hear through the mainstream media. I'm trying to give you as much hope, but not false hope. At least enough things to at least know that you were on the right side of history, that you're not crazy, that everything that you've been told, that no, Donald Trump really did lose the election. Oh, we're crazy. You guys are delusional. This is crazy. I was just looking at an article that Biden issues executive order expanding LGBTQ non-discrimination protections. I think that they're protected just because they're American citizens or they're just people in general. And I believe we have crimes that are called hate crimes, that if you commit these hate crimes, you go to federal prison. So I find this quite interesting that I mean, this is just this Joe Biden is literally the definition of wrecking ball Joe. And I've also got another name for him because, I mean, I've been looking at him lately and he was also starting to look like Robo Joe, which is, I mean, he looks like a robot. The man barely moves. Sometimes he stays there and he has a dead stare as if he's waiting for somebody to boop, press a button and activate him. I'm back. Like, I mean, it's crazy. But listen to what he said. Listen to what he said his reasoning is behind white supremacists and what a domestic terror. Keep in mind, people, we haven't seen domestic terrorism coming from white supremacists for over a decade. There's been more crimes being committed by Antifa and the BLM movement than white supremacy in the last 20 years. But again, Joe Biden apparently has nothing else to talk about. Him being, I mean, again, this is all reflection. I'm pretty sure he is himself a racist. And this is why he talks so much about the same fucking subject all the time that I'm so tired of hearing.
Like millions of my fellow citizens, I was shaken by the attack on the Capitol on January 6th. And
they were all white supremacists.
More broadly,
sure.
By your predecessor and his followers. While I appreciate efforts being made to bring them to justice, I worry about ongoing threats to our country from Americans who embrace white supremacy and conspiracies that align with it. What can your administration do to address this complex and wide-ranging problem?
It's complex, it's wide-ranging, and it's real. I got involved in politics to begin with because of civil rights and opposition to white supremacists, the Ku Klux Klan, and the most dangerous people in America continue to exist. That is the greatest threat to terror in America, domestic terror. And so I would make sure that my Justice Department and the Civil Rights Division is focused heavily on those very folks. And I would make sure that we, in fact, focus on how to deal with the rise of white supremacy. And you see what's happening in the studies that are beginning to be done, maybe at your university as well, about the impact of former military, former police officers on the growth of white supremacy in some of these groups. You may remember in one of my debates with the former president, I asked him to condemn the Proud Boys. He wouldn't do it. He said, stand by, stand ready, or whatever the phrase exactly was. It is a bane on our existence. It has always been, as Lincoln said, we have to...
Don't quote Lincoln, you piece of shit.
And these guys are not, and women are, in fact, demented. They are dangerous people.
Come on, man.
I came in like a wrecking ball.
Joe, come on, man. Seriously? You're really gonna... First and foremost, the Proud Boys wasn't a white supremacy group. You know this. We all know this. Most Americans know this. We know that the incitement or what the insurrection or whatever you want to call it at the Capitol, there were few Proud Boys that were there. There were some Antifa members that were there, but apparently you don't mention that. There were some BLM members that were there. Apparently you don't mention that. Dressed in Maga gear. So, Joe, you were fighting. You were fighting against the Ku Klux Klan since you started your career. Then why the fuck were you hanging out with Senator Byrd, who was almost considered a grand wizard of the Ku Klux Klan? Explain that to me. Explain all the shit that you have been saying for the last, forget about what you say. How about that? Let's look at your actions, Joe. What have you done, Joe? What have you done? Okay, so you tell Americans that you've been fighting against you've been fighting against white supremacy, but you hung out with all of them. You even spoke at Senator Byrd's funeral, along with, guess who? Crooked Hillary. So listen, Joe, nobody really wants to be lectured. Nobody really wants to listen to your BS, because we all know the truth. And the truth of the matter is that you are full of shit. You are completely and utterly full of shit. And America knows, everyone knows, and I'm shocked. I'm shocked to think in my mind that you actually think in your mind that you have fooled anybody. So that being said, it's quite a disappointment. It's quite a disappointment to hear him say this, because we all know that Joe's never been a person that has fought for equal rights at all. As a matter of fact, he put more people behind bars than more black African Americans behind bars than anyone I know. At least any senator. Well, actually, not really, because a lot of senators signed up on this. But and I'm gonna leave this. I'm gonna leave you guys with this funny video. Well, I'm not. You can't actually see it, so it's pointless. But I'm gonna leave you with this take, so you guys can just let this simmer and let this sit in your head. Everyone who voted for Joe Biden made a huge mistake. The majority of them, you will notice, okay, will not mention anything about it. Just do an experiment. Just post something like, man, Joe Biden is doing such a great job. Or, hey, guys, what has Joe Biden done so far that's made you happy that you think he's bettering our country? You're going to get crickets on your Facebook because nobody has an answer to it. See, we always had an answer to what Trump was doing because we could see it, we could feel it, and we knew it because we saw it in our bank accounts, we saw it in our financial statements, we saw it in our economy. What has Joe done? What has Joe done for the African American community? Absolutely nothing. What's Joe going to do for the African American community? Nothing. He literally just stripped an executive order that gave funding to historical black colleges. Yeah, Joe.
Come on, man.
You don't care about the black community. You just care about the votes. That's why you never met or spoke to Ice Cube when he was talking to you in reference to the Platinum Plan. The only one who picked up the call was Donald J. Trump, the real president of the United States, not you, the illegitimate president of the United States. That's why nobody celebrated you on President's Day, and everyone was celebrating the president that should be sitting in the White House right now, who is Donald J. Trump. That being said, guys, I am truly blessed to continue having your voices heard. Don't forget, if you want your voice to be heard, I will be your voice. I will read emails. I will, whatever you guys want to say, I will say it. I don't care. I'm uncensored. I am politically incorrect. I will say whatever the fuck you guys want me to say. You can email me at Jase, Jase, at therepublicannation.com with your comments or anything subject that you particularly want me to talk about. Another thing is, if you guys want to continue to show me some love, you guys can visit our store. The store helps us continue growing this platform, expanding the platform. Again, I got some big things happening, and I think you guys are going to be quite pleased with the movement that I have moving forward. This America First agenda will not die. I will not allow it to die. I will continue to fight for this for this America First agenda, because America should always come first. This is our country. We love this country. Too many lives, too many people have bled for this country, and I'll be damned if I allow that to go down the drain by these progressive crazies that are roaming through our streets. So that being said, guys, if you want to show me some support, you can visit www.therepublicannation.store. Some cool merchandise. I've been adding some stuff in there. I've even added some shirts that make fun of Joe Biden, Wrecking Ball Joe. Don't forget to hashtag that everywhere. I was the creator. Hashtag Wrecking Ball Joe and hashtag Robo Joe. So, guys, God bless you. God bless your families. And God bless this beautiful country we call America.
We will make America great again.